Let me tell you something, money is not scarce. No shortage of money in this world. There's only a shortage of prepared minds to receive it. See, money is a reward. It's a certificate of appreciation. It flows like water, like energy, but it doesn't flow to confusion. It doesn't to chaos. It doesn't flow to flows to clarity. The money flows to value. Money is to the mind that is ready. Now, what does a ready mind look like? A ready not just wishing. A ready mind is preparing. Ready mind is not sitting around waiting for opportunity. It's becoming the kind of person who recognizes opportunity. If opportunity showed up at your door right now, or would even notice it, could you handle it? Or would it overwhelm you? Not follows clarity, not confusion. That truth is simple but often ignored. Most people think money is attracted to effort or struggle or just showing up every day and grinding. But money isn't emotional. It doesn't respond to how badly you want it. It responds to precision, to focus, to intention. Money is not attracted to desperation. It's attracted to direction. Clarity is the foundation of value. If you are not clear on what you do, who you serve, do, and the transformation you provide, the marketplace won't reward you. People don't buy confusion. They confidence. They buy solutions. And you can't offer solutions if your mind is cluttered with doubts, distractions, and indecision. This is where most people sabotage their own growth. They think if they just try harder, money will show up. But effort without clarity is like running in circles. It makes you tired, but it doesn't move you forward. If your message is muddy, your income will reflect that. If your offer is unclear, your impact will be limited. If your goals are vague, your results will be inconsistent. Clarity multiplies results. Confusion multiplies noise. And the marketplace rewards clarity every time. That means your first job is not to hustle harder. It's to get crystal clear on your purpose, your path, and your position in the marketplace. What are you really offering? Is it a product, a service? No, it's a transformation. But most people can't articulate that. They talk features, they talk steps, they don't communicate the destination. That's because they haven't achieved clarity in their own mind. And if it's not clear to you, it will never be clear to others. This applies not only in business, but in your finances, relationships, and life strategy. You cannot manage what you haven't defined. You can't multiply what you haven't structured. You can't attract what you haven't mentally prepared to receive. Clarity is the blueprint, the signal, the roadmap. Without it, you're broadcasting static and hoping someone tunes in. And here's the truth. Money is always flowing. They see it's not waiting for you to be perfect. It's waiting for you to be clear. The people who are thriving financially didn't get there by accident. They made a decision. They defined their lane. They got clear on who they are, what they offer, and why it matters. That clarity became confidence, and that confidence became cash flow. But it didn't start with tactics. It started with internal alignment. When your internal vision is foggy, your external results will be frustrating. But when you operate with clarity, your actions become more intentional. Your message becomes magnetic. Your presence becomes impactful. You stop chasing every opportunity and start attracting the right ones. You stop saying yes to everything and start saying yes to what moves you forward. That's the power of clarity. You can't expect money to show up if your direction is vague. You can't expect clients to find you if your offer is hidden in noise. You can't expect breakthrough results with a broken focus. Clarity creates momentum. It reduces friction. It eliminates doubt. And that's what opens the channel for money to flow. When people pay you, they're not just paying for what you do. They're paying for the certainty you bring. They're paying to eliminate confusion in their own lives. But how can you eliminate someone else's confusion if you haven't first eliminated your own? That's why clarity is not optional. It's essential. It's the difference between wandering in circles and walking in purpose. It's the difference between frustration and flow. Value creation is the gateway to wealth. Wealth doesn't just come from activity, it comes from impact, and impact comes from value. A lot of people confuse being busy with being productive. They think if they put in more hours, they'll see more income. But money doesn't reward time, it rewards transformation. If the value you bring into the world increases, your income will eventually catch up. If it doesn't, it won't. It's really that simple. You can't expect to get paid for what you know. You get paid for what your knowledge does. You don't get paid for showing up. You get paid for showing results. And those results come from your ability to solve real problems in a way that matters to other people. That's where value is created. You want to make more money, solve a bigger problem, serve at a deeper level, eliminate more pain, create more clarity, deliver more outcomes. Most people are focused on consumption. What can I get? But wealth builders focus on contribution. What can I give? What skill can I sharpen? What insight can I develop? What product or service can I offer that actually improves someone's life? Because here's the truth. Money is a certificate of value. It's a receipt. It represents the difference you made. So if you want to see more money flow to you, they see the strength of you've got to increase the value that flows from you. This requires a mindset shift. It's not about chasing success. It's about becoming valuable. Not valuable in your own eyes, but valuable in the eyes of the people you're called to serve. That means you need to understand the needs, the desires, the frustrations, and the aspirations of your audience. You need to get outside your own head and get inside their world. That's how you build value that speaks directly to them. There's no shortage of money. There's a shortage of problem solvers. And the people who solve meaningful problems at scale are the ones who attract wealth consistently. You don't have to be the smartest. You just have to be effective. Can you make someone's life easier? Can you shorten their learning curve, simplify their path, remove an obstacle, or speed up their progress? If the answer is yes, you've created value. If you can do that for enough people at a high enough level, you've unlocked the gateway to wealth. You also need to understand that value doesn't mean perfection. It means usefulness. It means relevance. It means creating something that works, that helps, that moves the needle. People don't pay for theory. They pay for transformation. They see the strength of them. They don't pay for ideas. They pay for implementation. You can't just know things. You have to apply them in ways that create meaningful change. And here's something else: the more valuable you become, the less you have to chase. The high value people don't beg. They position. They don't sell from desperation. They attract through confidence and consistency. But that kind of attraction only happens when you're focused on solving instead of selling, on serving instead of seeking. When your focus shifts from how can I get paid to how can I serve powerfully, you move into the wealth zone, because money is attracted to results, not talk, not effort, results. And results come from value. If your income has play shoot, it's not a money problem. It's almost always a value problem. Either your value isn't clear, or it's not high enough, or it's not being communicated effectively. But once you solve that value equation, everything changes. So instead of asking, how do I make more money? Start asking, how do I become more valuable? Where are the gaps I can fill? Where are the needs I can meet? Where is the frustration I can relieve? That's the path to wealth. That's the formula that never fails, because the market never ignores true value. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. That statement cuts through all the fluff. Wanting something doesn't bring it into your life. Desiring wealth, freedom, or success isn't enough to manifest it. What you receive is a reflection of who you've become. The external results experience are just mirrors of your internal condition. If you want something different, you have to become someone different. Elevation always follows transformation, not the other way around. People walk around saying they want a better life, a bigger income, a breakthrough in business, but their habits, beliefs, and mindset are not aligned with what they say they want. That's why they keep experiencing the same cycle over and over again. Wanting is passive, becoming is active. Wanting is emotional, becoming is intentional. There's a difference between wanting success and preparing for it, a difference between hoping for more and becoming more. You attract what matches your internal standard, not what you say you want, but what you tolerate, what you embody, what you consistently think about and act on. If your self-image is rooted in scarcity, self-doubt, or fear, then even if you come across opportunity, you'll find a way to sabotage it. You'll shrink from it. You'll mismanage it, because your results cannot rise above your identity. That's why personal development isn't foundational. You can't expect to receive abundance with a mindset wired for lack. This truth shows up in every area of life. If you're a leader, your team will reflect your leadership capacity. If you're a business owner, your business will never outgrow your personal growth. If you're in sales, your clients will mirror your confidence, your conviction, your certainty. Everything around you is being shaped by the version of you that's currently running the show. So the only way to level up your results is to level up yourself, your habits, your language, your environment, your associations. All of these are shaping who you are becoming, and who you are becoming determines what you are capable of receiving. You can't live like a consumer and expect the rewards of a creator. You can't think like a victim and expect the life of a victor. You can't operate from fear and expect to enjoy the rewards of faith. What you are being on a daily basis is setting the ceiling on what you can have. This is why high-income earners often say success is 80% mindset, 20% strategy. Because if the inner game is off, the outer tactics won't work. You'll hear the right advice, but apply it wrong. You'll get the opportunity, but freeze. They see the strength of you'll step into the room, but minimize your value, not because you're incapable, but because you haven't yet become the person who believes they belong there. Becoming isn't about pretending. It's not fake it till you make it. It's faith it until you become it. It's renewing your mind daily, upgrading your beliefs, surrounding yourself with excellence, and taking action that's aligned with the future you want. You see the strength. You start thinking that version of yourself. You start walking like, talking like them, solving problems like them, and the results start to catch up. The life you're living right now is a result of who you were being 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. If you want a different life in the next season, it starts with changing the version of you that's showing up today. That means taking radical responsibility, refusing to blame circumstances, and focusing entirely on becoming the person who matches the level of life you say you want. Because see, it's never about what you wish for. It's always about what you're aligned for. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. A ready mind prepares before opportunity arrives. Most people wait for the door to open before they start getting ready. They wait for the promotion to learn leadership. They wait for the business idea to start learning sales. They wait for the client to appear before learning how to serve. That's why opportunity often shows up and passes them by. The ones who seize opportunity are the ones who were preparing in the dark when no one was watching, the long before the spotlight ever turned on. Preparation is a signal. It tells the universe, the marketplace, and even your own subconscious that you are serious. It moves you from wishing into working. And working doesn't always mean performance, it's development. It means stretching your capacity before life requires it. It means training for the moment before the moment arrives. Because if you wait for the pressure to learn the skill, you've already missed the moment. Opportunities are not rare. What's rare is someone who's ready for them. That's why the same opportunity can fall into two different hands and produce two completely different results. One person thrives, the other flounders, not because the opportunity was different, because the level of readiness was different. A ready mind doesn't panic when the opportunity shows up. It recognizes it, responds to it. It has the structure, the systems, the skill set, and the stability to receive it. You don't rise to the level of your hopes. You fall to the level of your preparation. When the moment comes, you won't have time to get ready. You only have time to respond. They strengthen, and how you respond depends on the work you've done beforehand. This is why discipline and consistency matter. They aren't just about productivity. They're about positioning. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're preparing your mind to handle more. Preparation is an act of faith. It's you saying, I believe the opportunity is coming, so I'm going to get ready now. I'm going to learn, study, build, refine, and master before I have a reason to. Most people want confirmation before they commit. But the people who succeed don't wait for confirmation. They create it through preparation. They see the strength of, they don't need a contract in hand to start behaving like a professional. They don't need applause to start showing up like a leader. They train in the shadows because they understand that readiness is not about convenience. It's about character. A ready mind also has clarity. It knows what it's preparing for. It's not trying to be everything to everyone. It has direction, and that direction informs decisions. A ready mind says no to what doesn't align because it's focused on becoming excellent at what matters. It's not distracted by trends or paralyzed by fear. It's focused on execution, on refinement, on growth. That kind of focus compounds. It builds momentum, and that momentum creates the capacity to say yes when the right door opens. Many people think they have a timing problem. They think opportunity hasn't come yet. But what they actually have is a preparation problem. If the door opened today, they wouldn't be ready to walk through it. They'd hesitate, doubt themselves, overthink, or collapse under pressure. That's why preparation isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's spiritual. It's becoming the kind of person who can carry what you've been praying for without it crushing you. If you prepare deeply, consistently, they see the strength of them, and intentionally the opportunity will often feel like it was made just for you. Because in many ways, it met at your level of readiness. Opportunity doesn't wait you to catch up. It responds to how prepared you already are. Scarcity thinking repels money, abundance attracts it. The way you think about resources determines how you interact with them and how they respond to you. A person operating from scarcity sees lack in every direction. They look at opportunity and see risk. They look at growth and see loss. They look at someone else's success and feel threatened. That mindset becomes a magnet, but not for money. It becomes a magnet for anxiety, hesitation, and missed chances, because scarcity doesn't just live in your bank account. It lives in your decisions, your words, your posture, and your energy. Money doesn't flow to fear. It doesn't flow to doubt. It doesn't respond to worry. It flows toward confidence, clarity, and belief. Abundance isn't about how much you have in your pocket. It's about how much you believe is possible. That belief creates a foundation for action. You start moving with different energy. You stop clenching your fists and start opening your hands. You stop hoarding and start building. You stop shrinking and start showing up. A scarcity mindset is rooted in the lie that there's not enough. Not enough clients. Not enough money, not enough opportunity. And when you believe there's not enough, you start behaving in ways that confirm that belief. You undercharge, you overthink, you compete instead of collaborate. You make short-term decisions that sabotage long-term results. You try to play it safe, but what you're really doing is playing small, and small thinking leads to small results. Abundance, on the other hand, says there's more than enough opportunity to go around, more than enough room at the table, more than enough for me to win and for you to win. That kind of thinking expands your capacity. It frees you from the trap of comparison. It empowers you to focus on value, not validation. You don't move from insecurity. You move from intention. You don't operate out of fear of losing. You operate from a conviction that you're building something greater. Your relationship with money is just a reflection of your relationship with trust. Do you trust that what you give will come back? Do you trust that investing in yourself isn't a loss? It's a seed. Do you trust that being generous opens doors, not drains your resources? Abundance doesn't make you careless. It makes you courageous. You don't waste. You steward. You don't gamble. You sow. You recognize that the more value you release, the more reward returns. People who operate from abundance don't wait until everything is perfect. They move while they build. They invest while they grow. They learn while they lead. They don't hold back waiting for certainty. They understand that motion creates momentum. Scarcity says, I can't afford to move. Abundance says, I can't afford to stay still. Scarcity locks the door and hopes things get better. Abundance opens the door and creates better. The energy you bring to your business, your relationships, and your decisions is either coming from fear or from faith, and the marketplace can feel it. Clients can feel it. Partners can feel it. You can be saying the right words, but if they're soaked in scarcity, they won't land. But when you speak from belief, real belief that there's more than enough, that growth is possible, that money is a tool, not a master, then what you offer becomes magnetic. An abundant thinker doesn't chase, they attract. They don't wait, they initiate. They see setbacks as setups. They turn obstacles into opportunities because their mind isn't searching for lack, it's scanning for leverage. They're not looking at the world wondering what's missing. They're looking at themselves, asking what they can create. That shift in thinking doesn't just change your income. It changes your entire experience of life. Money flows to vision, discipline, and alignment. It doesn't show up randomly. It responds to structure, direction, and consistency. Vision is what gives your actions meaning. Discipline gives your vision momentum. And alignment makes sure your habits, mindset, and strategy are all moving in the same direction. Without vision, you drift. Without discipline, you stall. Without alignment, you self-sabotage. But when all three come together, money doesn't have to be forced. It flows naturally toward purpose. That's backed by preparation. Vision is the starting point. It's the internal picture of what's possible. Vision isn't just dreaming, it's detailed. It's not vague hope, it's focused clarity. A person with vision wakes up with purpose.
Yeah.
They aren't reacting, they're designed to life. They're not chasing opportunity, they're building one. And that vision becomes a magnet for the resources required to fulfill it. When people don't have vision, they tend to settle for survival. They play defense, they stay small, they look at what is and assume it's all there will ever be. But vision allows you to see beyond your current condition and move toward your higher capacity. Discipline is what turns that vision into reality. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. It's not flashy, but it's essential. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when motivation fades. It means honoring your commitments, managing your time, and following through on your word. A disciplined person doesn't just act when it's convenient. They act because it's consistent with who they've decided to be. And that consistency compounds. It builds trust with yourself and with others. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards execution, and execution is built on discipline. Alignment brings it all together. You can have vision and discipline, but if your beliefs are out of sync with your goals, you'll constantly run into resistance. Alignment means that your thoughts, emotions, decisions, and actions are all pointed in the same direction. There's no internal conflict. You're not saying one thing and doing another. You're not believing in abundance while acting out of fear. You're not setting big goals while holding to small habits. Alignment creates integrity, and integrity creates power. When your entire being is moving in harmony, your actions carry weight, your presence becomes impactful, your message becomes authentic, and people respond that kind of congruence. Money is not just looking for activity, it's looking for clarity, intention, and excellence. It flows where there's structure and certainty. It flows where systems support the vision. It flows to people who are clear on what they're building it, and how they're going to sustain it. That clarity comes from having a solid vision. That sustainability comes from practicing daily discipline. And that trustworthiness comes from internal alignment. Without those three elements, money may come, but it won't stay. That you might earn or won't build. You might attract once, but you won't retain. Vision draws the blueprint, discipline lays the foundation, and alignment secures the structure. Every successful enterprise, whether business or personal, is a product of someone's vision multiplied by someone's discipline, grounded in someone's alignment. When these three forces are active, opportunities appear more frequently. Not because the world has changed, but because your level of focus and readiness has changed. People start seeing you differently. You start seeing yourself differently. And from that elevated identity, new income levels, partnerships, the end results begin to emerge. The problem is not that money doesn't want to flow to you. It's that it's waiting for a place to land. And that place has to be stable. It has to be focused. It has to be intentional. Vision gives direction. Discipline builds credibility, and alignment generates power. Where those three meet, money finds a home.